Good evening, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to the evening session of Being Heartful Every Day. Today is the day 363, and we are in week 52, just a few days away from the final moments of this heartful year together. As we step deeper into the essence of constant remembrance, we begin to realize that this journey was never about reaching an end, but about learning to carry the divine presence within us every step of the way. The silent flame within, which is the constant remembrance, it doesn't flicker with the winds of life's circumstances. It simply burns steady, quiet, and unwavering. In Sahaj Mark, we are not asked to renounce the world, but to include the Master in everything, in our thinking, our working, our resting, our relating. In remembrance, every act becomes sacred. As Babuji writes, the ideal condition is that remembrance should become constant, like the unbroken flow of oil, effortless and smooth. This inner state is cultivated not through force, but through love, devotion, and steady practice. When the heart is filled with love, remembrance becomes effortless. Bringing the master into life's rhythm is possible when we take some simple steps. We can begin again, even now, even today, if we haven't done that before, by beginning and ending our task with a gentle thought of beloved master, by turning inward in the midst of conversations or challenges, and by feeling his presence during the simplest of acts, walking, cooking, and breathing. When the divine becomes the constant reference point, life begins to flow from a higher plane, simple, soft, and surrendered. Moving on with our today's session, with this gentle reminder for not forgetting to share these invitations. Let us share these master classes and BHED sessions with our near and dear ones who can benefit from these sessions. And we will now continue to do our inspirational reading from Constant Remembrance. This is from Reality at Dawn. It's an excerpt from Reality at Dawn. Even though we had covered it before, but rereading the article helps us gain more understanding. The hard and miserable life of most of the people engaged in different worldly pursuits keeps them so much occupied with their problems of life that they are often led to believe that they can hardly spare time for devotion and worship, except at the cost of some vital interest or pecuniary gain, which they cannot safely afford to ignore. This notion keeps them away from the path of duty, although sometimes they become seemingly conscious of it. Their minds are absorbed every moment in thinking about the various problems of their material life and are seldom directed towards God, except when they are in deep distress or misery. The reason is that they attach primary importance to their worldly interest alone, which constantly remain in their view. Thus, they remain entangled within the Maya without ever thinking of getting out of it at any stage. If we divert our attention towards God and feel realization as the primary object of life, naturally we shall begin to look upon it as the first and the foremost thing in comparison to everything else in the world. It does not mean that we should become unmindful of our worldly responsibilities and neglect our duty in that respect, causing trouble and misery to those depending upon us for support. We must remain alive to a sense of duty to them as much as to God, but without an undue attachment. For this, we must snatch a few minutes from our hours of rest, preferably at bedtime, and pray to God with a sincere heart for His guidance and support on the path of duty. If we do it regularly with a heart full of love and devotion, the prayer shall never go unheard. When we thus get awakened to the sense of duty and the idea of God becomes prominent in our hearts, we begin to treat realization as the primary object of life. Naturally, our craving for it begins to grow stronger, and we are thus led to frequent remembrance of God during our routine of daily work, in spite of all our engagements and worries. Diversion from the path of duty is, in fact, not due to circumstances or outside engagements, but only due to the misdirected activities of the undisciplined mind. Mere consciousness of God cures many of the evils of the mind and removes difficulties from our path. We have thus to become conscious of God for the most part of the day during all our worldly activities. Frequent remembrance of God, though greatly helpful, is not all that we need for our final success in realization. We generally begin an important thing in the name of God, and it is customary almost in every religion to do so. But that is only a matter of formality and has no real significance. We never dedicate the thing to God in the real sense, and at heart, we are in fact quite away from the idea of God. Remembrance of God thus is of no avail. The real significance of the custom is that we must remain in touch with the idea of God in all phases of our mental and physical activities. We must feel ourselves connected with the supreme power every moment with an unbroken chain of thought during all our activities. It can be easily accomplished if we treat all our actions and work to be part of divine duty entrusted to us by the great Master whom we are to serve as best as we can. I repeat, we must feel ourselves connected with the supreme power every moment with an unbroken chain of thought during all our activities. It can be easily accomplished if we treat all our actions and work to be a part of divine duty entrusted to us by the great Master whom we are to serve as best as we can. Let us take the rest from the reading and let the words fall gently into our hearts. Feel the essence of these words getting absorbed in your heart. We will now prepare ourselves for the universal prayer. सभी भाई बहन प्रेम और भक्ति से भर रहे हैं और उनमें सच्ची श्रद्धा दृढ़ होती जा रही है. All brothers and sisters are being filled with love and devotion, and real faith is growing stronger in them. May our lives reflect the peace that comes from constant remembrance. And as we prepare to rest tonight, let's quietly review our day's activities with humility, not with judgment, and offer both the beauty and the struggle to the beloved Master. Let your heart whisper, help me remember you more tomorrow than I did today. And resolve gently with love not to repeat the mistakes of the day again. Dear sisters and brothers, we look forward to meeting you tomorrow for the 8:50 p.m. session. And until then, may the flame of Master's remembrance stay lit in your heart, steady, bright, and always. Wishing you all a very good night and thank you for walking this sacred journey with such love, grace, and sincerity.